Freestyle the news!
You don't want them to advertise?
No. If somebody's gonna try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Go
Let's do this.
yourself.
Hey.
Is that clear?
This ain't my holiday. Y'all been sounding crazy like lawyers who fuck with anime. Filler ass responses like Matt Rife when he hit the stage. Everybody else's fault. Boy, you sound like Elon when he digging his own money grave. Oh, now it's the advertisers with blackmail. That's capitalism, motherfucker. The app failed. You hemorrhaging costs on every check that you can't scale. You been making billies, you trying to salvage a bad sale. Welcome to the home of the good burger. Welcome to the fiscal year for Disney, the Wish version. Welcome to the contract making everyone shit nervous. Welcome to the magazine you reading wasn't written by no real person. Swimsuit edition be androids in a one piece. Walking to the stadium, they booing at the Trump seats. Cut them off like Apple when De Niro got his big speech. Fighting independence like they plot to kill that one seat. Shots fired, the students on blocks dying with kufi and spray painted synagogues as the shock rises. We pushing up more lies who live off a bad crisis. Like bigging up oil at the conference where they say they're trying to save climate.
Yeah, I saw one TikTok video who was like, I have a wife and I found this severely disrespectful. I was like, okay, you cuck. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. I love you.
The word of the year is authentic. No one tell George, he'll say that's something he invented. First expelled member of Congress who wasn't Confederate or bribed in a whole session. I needed a week to hang back like Steven with that appendix, but check it. Kanye on his bullshit again. The oversight committee scared of Hunter Biden, they said. Debates from candidates who ain't gonna meet the president next. Cause these the idiots all trying to flex. Bruh, I feel like everybody aching for the renaissance. That's why you got Andre rocking flutes up on the charts this long. Fuck you mean they made another Beetlejuice? They needed one? Pedro taking daddy roles like Chris Pratt every voicing job. Everything expensive, I don't even mean the rent, it's fucking hard. They gouging prices trying to beef up all the legends. I don't like it, bringing smoke like I was already fucking Lennox. You fatiguing on a boycott like a strike just fucking ended. What's the message? Accounts they keep building so they can polarize. Progress slow like, oh, they finally gonna change the pipes. But I got hope, I'm watching all of the noise subside. Oh shit, guys, I heard the wish just died. Oh, too soon? Honestly, should have happened sooner. Rotten piss, dude. Hey, yo, I needed a week off. Thank God for holiday break. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching Freestyle the News. If you like what you heard, please grab a pistol from behind your head and shoot that like button played by Alan Rickman out of a window, saving your estranged wife. He's like, hey, what is it you said to me? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. And then make like 5 more movies about that. Also, leave a comment on your favorite bar. Also, I have never met anybody who's like, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I don't even think that's a debate. People like say it's a debate. I've never met one person who you're like, hey man, I want to watch Die Hard on Christmas. And they're like, no, it's no. But anyway, a couple things before we get into this breakdown. We got a lot to talk about this week. First up, I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to everybody who's listened to our stuff on Spotify. This is the first year in my life where I've broken over 1 million streams. For the longest time, I had like really bad Spotify numbers, and it was like a huge like roadblock in my career. And this year with like Run Back City and the Mortal Kombat song and even Freestyle the News, what I have up on there, has been like just a godsend. So I really want to thank everybody here for really like listening to the music and liking the music that I have. I have some really great music planned for January, and honestly all throughout next year I've been recording a bunch of stuff. But anyway, that's my litany of calls to actions. Let's get into this breakdown. And I don't know how you don't start this breakdown with George fucking Santos. Oh, I've been wanting this breakdown. And this was the week of egomaniacs getting their comeuppance. This guy is such a he looks like a plastic doll, man. Like this guy, oh my God. Okay, if you don't know who George Santos is, you live a very privileged life, and I wish I was you. George Santos is an embattled congressman from New York. He had a pretty insane backstory. Like, he said that he worked for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. He said he had family members who died in the Holocaust, and his mother died on 9/11. He said he had employees who died in the Pulse nightclub shootings. He had landed roles on shows like Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I just read that, by the way. He was a Broadway producer for Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. He has claimed all of those things, and I know what you're thinking. Why the fuck would you flex about Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark? Probably because everything's a fucking lie. Listen, for other members of Congress to call you a pathological liar is such a fucking crazy bar to clear. How? That's fucking impressive, dude. Oh, there's way more shit, by the way. Oh, he misused campaign funds. He fucking overcharged people's credit cards, people's mothers' credit cards to get more campaign funds. And last week it came out that he used those funds on things like Hermes bags and OnlyFans, which is fucking wild. There's evidence that he used to be a drag queen in Brazil, while at the same time being a giant culture warrior against drag and all that shit. His mom didn't die in 9/11. His grandma didn't die in the Holocaust. He's also not Jewish. He's a conservative Roman Catholic. Probably the most infuriating story, and I do want to bring this up again so everybody knows, he allegedly stole money from a disabled veteran whose dog was dying. He came asking Santos for help. Santos set up the GoFundMe and pilfered the money. And then he refused to give it to the veteran. Fuck this piece of shit. I fucking hate this asshole. And apparently I'm not the only one, because earlier this week, Congress made him the 5th person in history to ever get expelled from Congress. He is the only person who is not a Confederate and has not been immediately accused of bribery to be expelled from Congress. And you know what? Fucking good. Honestly, I didn't even think it was gonna happen. I thought this guy would ride out his fucking time and then just lose re-election, because that's what happens so often. But the fact this guy was kicked the fuck out, I'm not gonna pat everybody on the back for doing it, but he was kicked out by like a shit ton of votes. There's a frustration that I have with politicians hiding behind the circus that is politics and the quagmire that is dealing with all of these bullshit narratives to just hold themselves accountable. And I like the fact that even though it is such a crazy bar to clear, this guy who wanted his name up in lights, who tried to talk up his name so much, now gets his name forever just destroyed in history. Fuck you. And of course, when he was expelled, he took absolutely no responsibility. He's like, the House has set a dangerous precedent for itself. Bitch, you're a dangerous precedent for everything. Now there's gonna be a battle for who replaces Santos, but all I can really say is I'm glad you're out, and I hope that your life for the rest of your life right now is fucking terrible. And while I don't think anybody is above redemption, I fucking don't like this guy, especially after the vet story. Fuck off. But anyway, leave your messages to George in the comments. Speaking of egomaniacs, Matt Rife. Now, I wanted to talk about this for a while, but Matt Rife is still getting just absolutely destroyed everywhere he goes. And this week, Matt finally took accountability for his actions by going on the Jordan Peterson. If you don't know who Matt Rife is, then you haven't been on TikTok. But Matt Rife is a comedian who was really, really famous for his crowd work and like got really, really big on TikTok, and then got a Netflix special and was like, hey, I have an audience of women. I just want to shit on them. Fuck all these people who got me here. Fuck all of them. I want to find the bridge that I'm on and drown it in kerosene, and then blow it up with a flamethrower like Leonardo DiCaprio and fucking the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, whatever movie he was in, with my plastic fucking jawline. But Matt Rife has been getting torn up for his comedy special, which he opened with a domestic violence joke, had a bunch of other problematic things in there, but I think the worst offense is people just didn't think it was funny. I'm not even talking about just the people who were offended by it. Listen, like, aside from contrarians, a lot of comedians don't like Matt Rife. They were upset that he had like a very TikTok audience. That just happens. If you've ever kind of been in comedy, I had a small stint where I did stand up for like a little bit. You'll know that comedians talk a lot of shit on each other. Kind of like rappers. They like, the comedians just talk a lot of shit on each other. Oh my God, that fucking guy's successful. He's on TikTok doing that. That's not real comedy. Comedy has that civil war going on right now. Like, what's real comedy? What's fake comedy? There's people who love like doing the club circuit, and there are people who love doing like the more theatrical, like built up shows. But anyway, Matt heard that, went on stage and just was like, I don't want to have this audience of women because everybody makes fun of me and thinks I'm only getting this because I'm hot. So I'm just going to shit on women for an hour and a half. And then people are going to like me. Like, all the guys are going to like me. But the jokes were just kind of like haphazard and weren't like super well written. Anthony Jeselnik also kind of criticized Matt for pretty much just burning his audience for no fucking reason.
What's fascinating to me is in this special, he's like, no, I'm for guys now. This special's for guys. And it's clearly like I've never seen someone so try to piss off their existing audience to try to grasp at what he thinks should be a comedian's audience. The Shane Gillis fans of the world are not going to be like, oh, a domestic violence joke, this guy's for me too. But he's so trying to like, no, I'm for guys now. I'm a real comic for dudes. It gives me a little bit of a feeling of Iggy Azalea trying to freestyle.
And he's absolutely taking no accountability for it. He's taking this thing like, oh, I was canceled. Oh, people are just offended. He posted a thing on his Instagram pointing to, if you were offended by my special, I'm sorry. Here's my apology. And it's the link to a special needs helmet. And then quickly going to Jordan Peterson. And I just want to say this very quickly. Listen, you get to choose your audience. You get to pick what your audience is. If you're somebody with a very liberal audience and you start to say, hey, I fucking hate vaccines, your audience is gonna change. It's just how this shit works. It's worked like that for a century. Saying that you've been canceled isn't really the point. You lose opportunities because those brands have a specific audience and you don't jive with them very well. And Matt wanted like the boys to fucking like him. And the thing is, aside from people who are contrarian, like Jordan Peterson, by the way, Jordan Peterson's a fucking idiot. It's just a bad look, dude. And also, like, that crowd that he wanted isn't with him. They think the jokes are lazy. They think they're not that funny. They're rote. You were trying to impress your haters, and you found out that your haters don't like you. They don't know what you're talking about. There are people who play into the grift and join the grifters. When you try to appease the grifters and make the grifters happy, that's what happens, dude. And like, Jordan Peterson's trying to give him like a leg up, like, oh, you were canceled for telling the truth, and no, you weren't. You were canceled because your comedy fucking sucked. And I know, because there are a ton of comics who say shit that offends a lot of people that, you know, is offensive to me too, but they're still fucking crushing it. And there are people like you and Rob Schneider who, you know, are just there. But anyway, if you saw Matt Rife's special or you have a different opinion, let me know what you think in the comments. One quick thing and then one more story before we close out. Just very quickly, Henry Kissinger died at 100. Fuck him. He bombed Cambodia, killed a bunch of civilians, endorsed genocides. This isn't like a leftist talking point. He did a lot of really awful ass shit. He made detente. That's great, but then he did a lot of other fucking evil shit and killed millions of people. So fuck him. I hope it's hot there. And the last narcissist who got his comeuppance. Guys, it's time to celebrate. We did it. We made it. It's over. X is over. Yes. Yes. Let's celebrate. Listen, Elon Musk just fucking nailed the coffin shut on whatever the fuck this is. Let's just be very clear. I made a Zed Talks video talking about how X is bleeding users, and multiple big name advertisers left X after an anti-Semitic tweet that Elon made. And fucking this week, Elon had a chance to address the advertisers who left. Now, for some context, again, I've said it quite a few times. As somebody who works in social media, it is an open secret that X or Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is the least ROI positive social media app for a lot of businesses.
There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself.
But
Go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
I cannot stress to you how many Elon stans are calling this a victory for free speech and do not understand that he just killed the fucking platform. I've never understood how people on the Titanic wouldn't understand the Titanic is fucking sinking as they see it pooling into the ocean. But now I kind of do. The blue checks were said to be a bad idea. They were a bad idea. They didn't generate revenue. Advertisers were really, really concerned that their posts would be next to really fucking anti-Semitic posts. They were, and they pulled out. People were concerned Elon Musk was unhinged and you couldn't really work with him. Guess what? Guess what? If you are a fan of Elon Musk and you think this is a good decision, I don't think you're a fan. I think you're a dick rider. A fan is somebody who likes work somebody has done, like his work with Tesla and building out the infrastructure for electric cars and his big scoped thinking. And then there are dick riders who excuse absolutely stupid decisions, which every expert is telling you is a bad decision, to the point where they self-implode. The person he brought on to try to mitigate all this, Linda Yaccarino, she has to defend it. She was brought on to keep big advertisers on there. We are in an age where people's narcissism destroys platforms and structures. And honestly, I think we need to understand that. I think the only problem right now is people gaslighting themselves into thinking, oh, it's all gonna be fine, it's all gonna be normal. No. I personally think everybody's gonna start to move to TikTok. TikTok kind of has the same like cadence as Twitter, but we're gonna have to wait and see. There's gonna be a lot more information that's gonna come out. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more things to talk about. Let me know what you think in the comments. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this week. I hope you guys liked Freestyle the News. Really glad I had that week off. Check out Zed Talks, we just did a brand new episode, and hit up TooSoonCrew.com for that new merch. Anyway, my name is Zed Tabani, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go!